Each stone had its place. The child's fingers moved with care, not play. Red went near the roots, blue near the edges. This was their language, silent but exact. No one else noticed. Not the shouts from the field, nor the bell from the hallway. Only the stones heard them, and they never asked questions. The room buzzed with voices. They stayed at the edge, always watching. Their pencil moved in soft arcs, red, yellow, green, circles that matched the stones. When called on, they lowered their head. Answers sat behind their lips, unspoken. The teacher watched, patient. There was something more here. Recess ended, but the teacher lingered. Something had caught her eye beneath the tree. A spiral of colors, deliberate, intricate. She knelt, tracing the shape without touching. Each stone was worn smooth by small hands. She looked around and saw the child watching. Their eyes met, then quickly looked away. But the silence between them had shifted. The teacher turned the memory over like a puzzle. Her notes were scattered with question marks. "Why the red first?" she wrote. "What does yellow mean?" She wasn't sure what she was decoding, but she knew it was important. The child's silence now held meaning. She needed to find the courage to ask. She approached slowly, not to scare. The child looked up, guarded. She crouched beside them, eyes on the stones. "They're beautiful," she said quietly. The child didn't respond, but didn't leave. They placed a new stone, orange, into the pattern. The teacher waited, then whispered, "What does that one mean?" The child glanced at her, then, almost imperceptibly, nodded. Cleanup time came with the usual shuffle of chairs. The child approached slowly, something in their hand. A green stone, perfectly round, palm-worn. They placed it gently on the teacher's desk. She looked up, surprised. The child didn't speak, just held her gaze for a moment, then walked away, wordless but understood. She picked up the stone, heart full. Saturday brought her to the market. Rows of stalls buzzed with voices. She searched until she found them, stones, smooth and bright. She chose 10 carefully. Red, yellow, blue, purple. Then a small cloth pouch, lined with soft fabric. It wasn't a gift. It was a language kit. Her way of saying, "I'm learning your words." The classroom was hushed with concentration. She approached gently, not to interrupt. The pouch landed softly on their desk. The child stared at it, uncertain. They opened it slowly, eyes widening at the colors. Fingers brushed the stones reverently. They didn't look up, but she saw their smile. It was small, but radiant. The stones returned to their rightful place, under the tree. But this time, there were 2 sets of hands. The child placed a blue stone. The teacher followed with yellow. They worked wordlessly, a duet of quiet. The spiral grew, more vibrant than before. Other children passed by, curious. None interrupted. They sensed something sacred. The board filled slowly, like a blooming garden. Drawings of stone spirals lined its surface. Each one carried a label, feelings given shape. Safe in green, alone in gray, joy in yellow. The child had started it. Others joined in. The silent became visible. The teacher watched it grow with quiet awe. The language of stones had become shared. The blanket lay flat, edges fluttering in the breeze. On it, stones gleamed in the sun, sorted by shades and meanings. The child pointed. Red for courage, blue for sadness. Other students leaned in, listening intently. Their questions were gentle, their eyes curious. One by one, they began placing their own stones. The circle grew. The teacher watched from a step away, heart quietly full. Raindrops tapped softly on the windows. Inside, wood shavings curled like ribbon. The child held one side of the box. The teacher hammered gently. They worked without rush, without speech. The box was plain, but purposeful. A home for shared feelings. When finished, they both ran fingers along the lid. The teacher smiled. It's ours now. Yiri. The sun poured warmth across the desks. One by one, children approached the box. A yellow stone, for when my sister made me laugh. Nay. A gray one, for when I missed home. Neo. Guy. A purple stone was placed with shaking hands. This one's for being brave. Yando. No one laughed. No one judged. The box was quiet, but it held everything. The principal paused before the bulletin board. Stone spirals, hand-labeled meanings, drawings like constellations. What is all this? She asked, curious. The teacher replied, a way to speak when words are hard. Yeehaw. The principal nodded slowly. I've never seen anything like it. Yay. Neither had they, but it felt right. The room held its breath. The child stood by the front desk, red stone in hand. Fingers trembled. Voice caught. Then, a breath and a word. This one is for when I was scared. Yeah, jeez. Silence followed, deep and kind. Then the teacher clapped once and the class followed. The child smiled, shy, but no longer silent. The field was quiet, dotted with wildflowers and glints of stone. They walked together, teacher and child, eyes scanning the ground. Each stone picked was a future message. They shared smiles instead of words. It wasn't about the silence anymore. It was about what filled it. The gym buzzed with families and laughter. In the center, a table draped in green cloth. Atop it, stones, poems, spirals of color. A sign read the Garden of Stones. The child stood beside it, watching others read. They didn't speak, but they didn't need to. Their voice was in every piece. The room was still, lit by a bedside lamp. She wrote slowly, deliberately. A green stone sat beside her notebook. He spoke today, she wrote. With words, with courage. She paused, smiling at the thought. This job isn't about teaching, it's about listening. Lie. The final bell rang, but no one rushed. They gathered for a photo, smiles wide, arms linked. The stone box sat proudly at the front. The child stood in the middle, no longer at the edge. The teacher snapped the picture, heart full. This was more than a class. It was a community. The tree had grown, branches wider, roots deeper. So had the child, now taller, older. They placed a new stone in the spiral. Beside them, a small student watched. They looked up, nodded. Want to learn what it means? The younger one smiled. And the story began again.